Welcome back to College Football 26, episode 35. We are into a new year. We had a good one last year. We added a half star, another playoff appearance, but we couldn't get beyond that first round. This year we're going to try to do more with that. Transfer group, small. Law is going to end up being a one and done, though. He is going in first round of the draft. But beyond that, we only have 5 more guys that are looking to transfer out, and I'd certainly like to hang on to these first, the whole group. Let's see if anybody wants to stay. Stork, freshman wide receiver, is going to stick around, so that's good. As for those seniors, we've got a 92 overall corner, 96 overall wide receiver. He's got a couple records for us this last season. 90 overall quarterback in Tramer. Manzo, right tackle, right guard. Both of them just hitting into the 90s. Definitely not as bad as some other recent seasons. I needed to look into the transfer market, though, potentially for a quarterback. Somebody to compete with Skaggs, who would be the one taking over. He's just a 79 overall. Obviously, he has a good chance of being mid-80s come next season, which isn't bad. But we might be able to do better. We didn't finish quite as high in the rankings this year, and we really didn't lose as many players this year as last. But even then, we still get 5 drafted. We've had an incredible year recruiting so far, which is going to make this final process really good. We've already got a 5-star. We've got a lot of 4-star players already signed. That's 15 already signed. Leal, about to sign. Leal signs, that's 4-star wide receiver, high schooler. We're also going to get another one from Columbus, 3-star free safety. This is so weird for me to be at a point where we have so many recruits already that we can put maximum hours into virtually every player. I have a couple guys at 40 because it's hard sell and there's no competition. That I have enough hours left over to scout. Like, I usually scout the first week of the season, and that's it. This is so weird for me to be finding out, these finer details about players. I mean, I'm into transfer guys right now, figuring out how good they are. 4-star Darling halfback. 3-star defensive tackle Azudo has signed. Katula, 3-star strong safety. This is weird, but I'm leaving hours on the table. Final week. 90 hours are left. I've scouted everybody fully. I have offers in for everybody. I've got maximum hours for every single guy, even the ones that are clearly set number 1. And I still have 90 hours left. It's nice to have the extra hours. It really is. I did take a chance on some guys, so as I go through this, there's a good chance that I'm missing as many as 3 of our 35. But I think it's better to go for one of the best players in the nation and possibly get them than settle for a player who's significantly worse just to fill the 35. I'd rather take 32 really good ones and maybe get one of those 3 guys than not. Now, I wouldn't do that if we were only talking about bringing in 10 or so. But if it's 3 of the best players and I've got a chance, it's a lot better than what there is behind. So as we make our way down the list, we already had 18 guys signed before we even got into the offseason. But there's a good crew behind them. We lost to Roth. I thought I was going to get that one. But that was one of the 3. We lost on Mitchell, which was Ohio State, and I figured I was going to lose that one, but I didn't want to give up on it. We got the other, though, so we did get 1 out of the 3. We ended up getting 33 overall for the class. Georgia had the number 1 class with Oregon, Clemson, Miami, and Ohio State, top 5. We did not crack the top 10, but, oh man, were we close? 11th with 1 5-star and 18 4-star recruits. And 14 3-stars. Even though it wasn't our highest rank, this was our best class. We've been 9th our ninth ranked class was not this good. Scores were not this high. So Monty comes in, the 5-star, ahead of Childers, Cloud, Sharp, Dexter. We definitely have some seniors coming right in to fill some gaps. And then a really good class otherwise. This is such a good group. 2 athletes to distribute this season, so it should be pretty quick. I'm also not changing positions as often as before. I've found out that as long as you stay within your realm, like defensive backs, if a cornerback moves to strong safety, you're okay. But if a cornerback moves to defensive end, they hit a cap on how much they can improve. And so if you turn that freshman into some other position group, it doesn't go well. The athletes don't have that penalty, but elsewhere, that penalty exists. So I'm trying to not change guys as much, or at least not outside of their realm. Quarterback is going to be a little bit of a problem, though. We've got the 2 targets I ended up going for in the transfer market. Neither one of them was going to pan out. One, because it turns out that he realized that Skaggs is better than he is. He would have been about a 77 or a 78, but he was also heading into senior year. So we ended up going younger and getting a freshman transfer in Teague. Though he's a pocket passer, I don't remember him being a pocket passer. Checked it on everybody but him, apparently. That's not very helpful for me. But we've got our dual threats otherwise. Skaggs is too. How in the world did that happen? This could be a problem next season. Wow, I've got a lot of receivers all of a sudden. But our minimum is a 73. And on to those training results. A sophomore right tackle is now a 93 overall after he gets a +10. Holy cow. His dev trait is elite. This is probably a 4 or 5-star recruit. Probably should be playing at tackle, not at guard. Oh, he is. Okay. But we also have a center at 92, so we're going to be back to having at least a couple elite linemen again this season. We only actually have 3 90s overall. Middle linebacker being the other, but there's 4 89s right there behind him, including Skaggs, quarterback, 89 overall. Big improvement for him. He's ready to jump into that starting job. But as a pocket passer, we know he's going to be an elite thrower, but I don't know how much of a threat he'll be with his feet. He does have 87 for speed, though. Okay agility. Mid-80s gets us through about a third of the roster. 80 gets us anywhere from 60% to 2/3. And 75 gets us down into the bottom end of the roster, with only a single player not reaching a 70 plus, and he's only 1 point shy. Very quick through the tree. Quarterback at 89, 85 for halfback. Fullback, a little bit weak there, but wide receiver, lots of guys in the mid-80s. A couple good tight ends. A couple good left tackles. Left guards got an 85. We got a 92 at center. 86 at right guard and an 83 backing him up, a 93 and 89 at right tackle. Left edge has a couple guys in the 80s, a couple guys in the 80s at right edge. Defensive tackle has 3 guys in the 80s, so we're very solid. Sam, very good. Mike is excellent. Will is definitely good. Corner is very good. Free safety is very good, and strong safety is definitely good as well. Maybe not as much depth as some of the other positions. We've got an 88 at kicker and at punter. We're young, redshirt freshmen at an 80 this season. I need to make sure I recruit another punter. Overall, though, team looks very good, very solid. And it looks like we're headed to another year of being a 94 overall across the board. Preseason has us ranked 16th in the nation with that 94 overall. I'm pretty impressed with where we're at on things. And our quick look at the schedule. It's a little different this year. We've got an FIU, who were 12-2 a year ago. FCS Midwest, that is a home game, by the way. They're not ranked, but that could be a little bit of a challenge to open the season. And then we get into conference games a little earlier this year with a bye week in week 3. We get Tulane much earlier this season. On the road. I feel like we're on the road every time we play Tulane. No, we're not. We're not. I know we've played them at home, but we don't get them every year. And when we do seem to get them on the schedule, more often than not, so not every time, but more often than not, I do feel like it's Tulane on the road for us. Wisconsin, at home. Pitt, the defending national champion, the one who knocked us out of the playoff and starts preseason ranked 7th, on the road. We've got a tough slate this season. I think we could still easily win 10 games, but will we win 11? Can we get to 12? That seems a little tougher this season. There's absolutely some obstacles in the way. I mean, we've got 3 good non-conference opponents. Wisconsin 8-5 last year, but and then Tulane on the road. We've got East Carolina at the end of the season. Rice was 7-6 a year ago. Navy 4-8. Charlotte, of course, is easy. UAB was 8-5 last year. We're on the road at them. Texas San Antonio was 3-9. USF was 6-7 last year. It's not a given that we're gonna steamroll the schedule this season. We could absolutely take 1 or 2 or 3 losses along the way. The 2 obvious ones are Tulane and Pittsburgh, both on the road. We could lose both of those games quite easily. And if we slip up one other time along the way, we're talking about a 9-3 regular season. New recruiting board for the year, and 34 of the 35 are 4-star or better. The one in 35th, I remembered I desperately need a punter. He's number 1 on the list. I won't have to invest much probably to get his signature quite easily. Best punter in the nation seems like a smart move for us to make. But for the very first time, we have an automatic 1-button signee of the 4-star variety, Kasim Pratt. 100th best player in the nation, number 5 guard, has signed. Just like that. Now, back in the very first season, I got a 2-star guy that did that. And then it was a very long time. Many seasons went by before the first 3-star player did that. Now, a lot of 3-star players will do that. A lot of 3-stars will sign with that 1 button. I'm almost getting better than 1 a year these days. Prestige is a factor. That's why we were able to get 2 stars before, but I only recruited 2-star guys for 1 to 2 seasons. Then I went after those 3 stars when we did not have the prestige to go after them. So it was a very long time until the prestige built up enough that we started to get those guys automatically for a couple of reasons. One, I've already learned and seen confirmed that you've got to be number 1 on their list. You're the favorite, and the favorite's coming in, and they get excited and they sign right away. That happens. It happens in real life. It makes sense that it happens in the game. But it's some sort of percentage chance, and it's a fairly low percentage that it happens. But there's a little behind-the-scenes dice roll that determines whether you're going to hit that or not. Now, in the early days, those 3-star guys, it was something like, rolling a nat 20 to make that sort of thing happen. And it just didn't happen frequently. In fact, it was probably more like a 1% chance. But as our prestige built, the likelihood of that increased for 2 reasons. One, I think we had a better chance on the dice roll, or behind the scenes, odds of it occurring. But 2, because more and more players had us number 1 on their list. So more frequently, the opportunity for it to happen, the frequency was higher. Now, we've only just started to get 4-star guys that were not just us on the list, but us at the top of the list. There was the occasional player out of Ohio that was in the 4-star category that had us number 1. Not very often. Now it's happening nationally, And now even some of the 5-star guys are interested in us. There was 3 out of what was it? 32 5-star players in the whole player pool. 3 of them like us. 3 of them had us in the top, in their top 5. So we're beginning to shift into that threshold, and getting those 5 stars is going to start getting a little easier, but it's still not easy. And I still think that, you know, you're up against the biggest programs, so those 5 stars is still very much a matter of getting leftovers, getting 1 to 2 a season still. But this is that sign that getting the 4 stars is just going to get easier and easier and easier, and it's not quite like the 3 stars. There's competition for most of the 4 stars from a very early period, but if last season was any indication, we recruit them bigger, better, faster, easier. We can get those signatures across the line much faster, and we have more hours to spend, so we can go after more of them at the same time. We're going to, before long, be almost exclusively 4 stars or better in our recruitment, and that's a big change. We're gonna get into the high 90s for our overall here in the next couple of seasons, and probably stay there. Our new quarterback Skaggs broke a record in the first game of the season against 77 overall FIU, which we've taken the win in, but single game passing yards record. Apparently having a pocket passer who's capable of running, not such a bad thing. I've always been recruiting dual threats since the early seasons, at least. With another 100 hours a week, we're able to actively recruit 2 more guys in the send the house category with the one we've already signed. That means 15 targets, 3 of which are 5 stars, 2 of which are cornerbacks, and another good cornerback, top 76 in the nation. I couldn't pass on this one just in case. Right now I have 5 guys so that there is a contested recruitment on, but all 5 are off to a really good start, as we are putting more hours in than the other the other contested programs are putting in. So we're pulling away in the short term, meaning I'm going to stick with it, and we're going to go for these 14, hope to get say 12 of them. Maybe we lose out on 2 of those 5, but if we can get 14 from this group, or sorry, what was that? 12 from this group. That's 13 overall, and as those hours filter into the next group, the next group only has 1 that we are at the top of the list of. Everybody else, we are not on their list, so we're going to have time to at least get onto their list, but that does mean we are going to definitely be contested when the time comes. Overall, 26 4-star or better targets. Then we get into the best of the best 3-star kind of guys to fill out where candidates aren't available. A punter. There is no 4 stars. Couldn't find enough weak side linebackers or tackles or quarterbacks for that matter. And in this case, I have a couple of quarterbacks on the list that are a little bit further down the list. And when I have some time, I will scout them. If they're not any good, they're coming off the list. I'm hoping to find a gem in the dual threats for the quarterbacks. Back-to-back games, the record's been broken. Skaggs does it again against FCS Midwest. Of course, that's the easiest opponent we have on the calendar, but still impressive that he's been able to break the record. Which, I mean, how many years have we played? Close to 30? Certainly more than 20. And he's broken the record. He's been a starter for 2 games, and he's number 1 and number 2 on the list all time. That's incredible. 568 yards and 7 touchdowns. Oh, wow. I was worried about slipping up at some point, but I was not worried about slipping up at home to Texas San Antonio. They're 3-1, 2-0 in conference this year. But they're a team that regularly wins 3 to 5 games a year. We should not have lost to them, but we did. 47-44. The offense was there. Defense was not. We beat FCS Midwest 83-0. Beat a good FIU team 41-24. That's a worry. That's already a loss in conference. We really can't afford much. Tulane and Pitt are both in the top 5 right now. Wisconsin's in the top 25 right now. And we lose to UTSA. We're not ranked. Rightfully so after that. Tulane is a team we should beat. They're 3rd in the nation, though. We have a 94. They have an 87. But again, on the road. 50-50 game. First commits coming in. Dalton Page, 4-star right guard. And suddenly we have our worst record in a long time. 35-14. Offense not showing up. And maybe that is Skaggs. Against a weak defensive line who aren't going to put pressure on him. He can stand in the pocket and perform. Flushed out. Under pressure. Not being a dual threat. Not being our style. It ain't happening. Tulane goes to 6-0. Our other 2 games got a little more winnable though. Wisconsin struggling, dropped to 3-2. Pitt struggling, dropped to 3-2, down to 23rd. We might be able to win out the rest of the way. We could really use it. 10 wins from here. We're only 6th in the conference right now. Another commit, 4-star wide receiver, Mark Huck. And 4-star halfback, Shockey. Wisconsin's fallen to 3-3, but they are in 85 overall. But we're at home for this one. We should win, but certainly not a guarantee. They've got a decent percentage chance. They've got enough quality, and we've had our struggles. But we are getting signatures. Rude, 4 stars. Mike, linebacker. Left edge, Shipman, 4 stars. Halfback, Sigler, 4 stars. He's actually a 5-star. He's a 4-star gem. Left edge, Abel, 4 stars. It's 4. And it's just not coming together this season. Wisconsin's beaten us 41-38. Defense and offense both having their struggles on the day. 38 points should win most games. Even Charlotte, who at the time were winless, we only beat them 52-31. It was on the road, but things are not going well. And Pitt's climbing back up. They're 5-2, 16th. Suddenly, our championship contender rating has dropped to the point where guys like 5-star Jennings here, who was about to break into the top 3 with nobody else offering. If we don't beat Pitt, there's no hope of signing these guys. After winning the championship a year ago, Pitt's only an 84 this season, so maybe. But we're on the road, and we couldn't beat a similar rated team at home last week. At least we're getting commitments. 4-star free safety, Dewan Tai. Wow, we've lost 3 of 4. Pitt hammered us. It was 48-15. We should win these last 3 to get to 8-4. This is easily our worst season in a very long time. We've dropped to a C+ for a championship contender. I'm not sure we can get it back to a B, but I'm not going to take these guys off the list. Their hours have cleared, I think. We'll stick around and hope to be able to get back into contention for them, obviously knowing that we should rebound next year and be that 11, 12, 13 win team that we've been of late. Let's hope we don't drop back down to 3 stars. We might. 4-star recruit Hendricks, halfback, has signed. Free safety, 4 stars. Speed. Corner, 4 stars. Jervy. Well, I found one of our problems that has led to the number of losses we've taken of late. We are very reliant on one halfback. In 85 overall, he's missed half the season so far with an injury. And so we've had to rely on 2 true freshmen this season. One of them having 421 yards and 12 rushing touchdowns, while Hurt only has 288 and 6 rushing touchdowns. He's lived up to his name, pun intended. Well, at least we got one 5-star guy, Gilliam, 5-star wide receiver. We've gotten that championship contender thing back on track, but Rice is a big obstacle for us here in the last 2 games. They're 7-3. We're only 6-4. They have a better record. We're only a 77 overall, and we're at home. Should be a win, but we've had our struggles, and we keep losing games that we should be winning this season. We're still missing the halfback. It's making it a lot tougher. Ringo, such a star. He's broken the record for single season sacks. Now we've won 2 in a row after all those losses. We took East Carolina 35-10 and 41-23 against Rice. We now have Navy on the road. They're just 2-9, 0-7 in conference. We should be able to rebound to get to 8. We're 3rd in the American. We might not be out of this thing yet. We might get a chance to go upset Tulane. If we can get a healthy running back, I would give us at least a little bit of a chance. They're 5th in the country, still undefeated at 11-0. Pitt's back up to 6th. 5-star corner Jennings has signed with us. No chance at redemption, though. We end up finishing 3rd in the conference. Temple, who are ranked 25th in the country, by the way. They're only a 2-star program. They're only a 72 overall. We didn't play them this season, but they went 7-1, and they get that opportunity to take on Tulane, who is now 4.5 stars, by the way. Trying something new this season. I've gotten to that point where I've got leftover hours. I've scouted everybody on my list. I've cut my list down. Now I'm going back and finding 4 stars that haven't been well recruited so far. That there's 1 or 2 schools after, but they're really still in the top 8, maybe shy of top 5. Give it a shot. See if we can chase them down. One of them is looking like we might actually be able to do so. This guy, Dalton, in 1 week. I spent 40 hours last week. We went from 6th on the list to 3rd. And you can see that Appalachian State, or is that Army? It's Appalachian State, right? We're catching them fast. Clemson's going to be a harder ask. That Clemson might have been right behind us. Maybe we were 5th on this one. But that was with 40 hours. With 50 hours, with the right pitch, with the slip up of other programs when we get to the transfer market, as they focus on transfers and not on these high schoolers, and maybe we can steal a couple more 4 stars this way. We're trying. There's 4 of them that I'm getting after anyway. And I still have hours left, so I can go make it a few more. At least signatures are still coming in, including our 3rd 5-star recruit of the class. And this has already been our best class. It's looking real good. I'm worried about losing a half-star prestige. We need to win our bowl game to make sure we maintain that. We should find out here in a moment who we're playing for that. But we're also getting a 3-star right tackle, Brandon. And the Heisman has gone to Clemson. Their quarterback, 33 touchdowns, 71 pass completion percentage on 2,800 yards. And the Remington Trophy has gone towards Marco Irvin, our center. Oh, and we get Auburn in the Gator Bowl? How did we get that unlucky that we've got to play Auburn? Unless they're not good. You always get this little late end of season restructuring of better teams in the playoffs. You get more 99s, right? So it spreads it down. That's why I think we've get this reevaluation. So we dropped from a 94 to a 91 on our rating, and Auburn's a 94. They're 8-4. They've had a rough season. Well, we're about to have our rough season get even more rough. It's already the weakest year we've had in like a decade, and I have a feeling we're going to lose this game and probably lose that half-star of prestige. 8-5, I don't think that's going to cut it. Sure enough, wasn't even competitive. 45-16. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. We got slayed. And we have dropped to 3 stars. USC, who Oregon beat for the Big Ten championship, has bounced back to beat Oregon in the national championship. My alma mater remains without a championship in their history. Getting closer. Last year, making the semifinal for the first time. This year, making the championship for the first time, but losing to USC. It was a 2v4. Tulane lost in the semis, as did Michigan. Pitt, Clemson knocked out, the 1 seed knocked out in the quarters. Texas A&M and Georgia, the other ones going down at that point, and you can see the first rounders there. Terrible year for us. We lose that half star. It's not going to be that hard to bounce back. We have quality. We shouldn't be losing a ton of players. Then again, we might. We suddenly have guys that are going to be worried that we are not contending for a championship. There could be a lot of transfers going out. We might have a little rebuild on our hands here. All mostly because of a halfback who decided to enter the draft early, leaving us with only one quality halfback for the year, and he got injured. It cost us dearly. We took at least 2 losses we shouldn't have had. Were we 10-3, we would still have a decent contender. Maybe we don't make the playoff, but a lot of guys wouldn't be transferring out. Coach prestige wouldn't have dropped so much. We could lose for that too. Coach prestige dropped. Championship contender dropped. Mostly because of one injury. And this could be a bit of a rebuild for us upcoming. We've recruited so well for years, though. There's still going to be talent. There's still going to be good players. We will rebound, but this transfer could see a good number of guys leave and leave us with a huge hole. But we've got our best recruiting class ever happening right now, coming off of our best recruiting classes over the last few years leading up to it. So as long as we don't lose too many players, we'll be still in pretty good shape next year for the most part. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.